Coming up next, Santos against Rangers. It's McCoist versus Pele.
Hello again from South America. It's a bit murky but very, very humid and warm as Rangers, myself and Chris Whiteman in the commentary box here. We've all travelled out to South America. Myself and Chris alongside me in the commentary box. I think we might have cocked up a few air miles in this first week of the tournament alone. So will these Rangers players, of course, as they face Pele Santos here in Brazil. And of course Burnley and AC Milan clash against each other tomorrow night, and that will be a game you can see with us on the McCoist 94 channel. Remember, all games live and in full from this tournament only on this YouTube channel. Santos with a few of the 1970 World Cup side there. Carlos Alberto, of course, one of them. Pele, of course, the other. Edu, Lima, Quadrado amongst them, the names there. And Rangers, of course, David Cooper, Brian Laudrup and Aaron McCoist up front. Pele could have a tough time against Terry Butcher and Richard Goff there. Jardine and Greg, two fullbacks that like to get forward. And then Boncourse, the anchor man in midfield. So Santos in all white. Juventus, Rangers, of course, in blue with white shorts and red stockings. Baxter with an early challenge there. Brian Laudrup to Baxter. Gascoigne goes up against one of his former sides in Burnley later on in the tournament. They'll have a bit of a battle with Britain later on in this group. Greg wins the throw. A lot cooler than it was when we travelled over for the first match of the tournament between Sao Paulo and Dortmund. It was scary, it's very scorchio up there in that first game, but it's a lot cooler here today. Jardine to Baxter. Laudrup to McCoist. And Boncourse. Cooper. Gascoigne knocking it in and well defended. Chris is alongside me, of course, in the commentary box. Chris, what a game this promises to be. It might be the appetizer to the Milan-Burnley game, but this in its own right is a superb matching prospect, surely.
Well, Pele's involved, so it should be a good one.
Doval, Pele! Deflected away, Gascoigne. McCoist, Baxter. And McCoist makes the run, he threw, it's Aaron McCoist! He strikes the first goal for Rangers! Aaron McCoist, who scored nearly 350 goals for Rangers, has struck the first one for Rangers in this tournament, and he strikes again for Rangers. He loves scoring for his beloved Rangers, and he's done it once again. Rangers in the lead.
Well, what a start by Rangers. Look at that. I was talking about Pele just a moment ago, saying it's got Pele, it should be interesting, but Ali McCoist had a pretty good goal record himself, didn't he? And, well, shows how good a finisher he is. One-on-one, bread and butter stuff.
Yes, the Brazilians not very good defenders, I have to say, for all their attacking qualities that Brazilian teams have. Their defence always leaves a lot to be desired, and you go around with McCoist even a half an inch and he pounces, and he didn't score 350 odd goals for Rangers for nothing. All-time goal scorer in the club's history. It was the old Rangers or the new one, it doesn't really matter, as Pele was lurking at the back inside the 6-yard area. Laudrup to McCoist. Calvert plays it towards Pele. That's a lovely play towards Doval, and he's been hacked down. I think it was John Gregg who tripped him. Referee go and have a word with the Rangers captain. No yellow card will be issued. Santos have a free kick. Well, in fact, he should have had a yellow card there, shouldn't he, John Gregg?
Well, yeah, you can say misplaced kick or not. Should have been a yellow.
Wait a moment anyway. Pele! Oh! What a goal! It's a goal of pure genius! Pele strikes a brilliant goal. Andy Gorham got a hand on it, but he couldn't keep it out. And here in the stadium in Brazil, it is total bedlam. Pele Pele makes it 1-1.
There's not really much to sum this up, is it? Pele with a free kick. End of story. You could be a little bit critical of the goalkeeper, but it's a difficult one to call. This angle will probably give us a better idea. Maybe Gorham should have done better, but Pele has a knack for scoring goals, so we'll just put it under the Pele scores category, shall we?
Well, it's an ambition of mine to commentate on a Pele goal and an Ali McCoist goal, and I've done both inside the first 8 minutes of this game. So one commentator's dream is really fulfilled here, even if it is in the virtual world. Edu now playing it forward, and it might drop for Edu, or Toinho rather. Now Terry Butcher, Gascoigne to Greg, David Cooper, who in real life tragically died at just 39 years old, 20 odd years ago now. A superb player, played also for Motherwell, of course, later on in his career, but obviously he died such tragic death at the age of 39. But we've resurrected him for this tournament because he was a real legend for Rangers. Lima, good strike, and Gorham there making a marvellous save. If we were critical of him on the Pele equaliser, you couldn't criticise him then. It was a great save, but still Dorval, lovely back flick. Pele! Oh, that's a beaut! An absolute beauty from Pele! 2 for him, 2 for Santos, and Rangers now are being pulled apart. Pele has scored another goal, Chris, of absolute pure genius.
Well, you mentioned before we went on air, didn't you? Obviously Maradona had a fairly quiet first game. It'll be interesting to see how Pele gets on. Well, there you go. 2 goals in the first 15 minutes. Brilliant turn, this one. It's their first a free kick. This one's just brilliant. Turn, shot with the left. Brilliant finish.
And just before that, Andy Gorham made a world-class save, but nothing he could do about this one. Pele is just unplayable sometimes. He was in his World Cup career anyway. Won 3 World Cups in 58, 62 and 1970. 1970 really the climax to a great Brazilian career, of course. Scored the 100th goal in that final for Brazilian World Cup competitions with that header against Italy. And then the 4th goal in that final. A real pass and move. Must have been about 14, 15 passes, simple balls. And in the end, Alberto finished it off at the back post. And that's the sort of goal Brazilians love to attack. They're not the greatest defensively. And Pele now looking for the hat-trick, and he joins a whole host of other players, incidentally, on 2 goals for the tournament. And he had another chance there to make it a hat-trick, but he failed to finish it off. Good skills there, wasn't it?
Tell you what, if he'd have got a good connection on that, we could have been talking about a hat-trick inside the first 20 minutes. That would be ridiculous.
Well, what's even more interesting is that no one has completed a hat-trick yet in our tournament, and we could have seen the first 15-minute hat-trick. So we're just waiting for one striker to make tournament history. This is the inaugural tournament, and if we're successful this time around, we'll bring it back again next year. So far it's proven to be a real success story. Goals in every game we've seen. 3 tonight. We've had 4 in the last 2 plus 7. We've had a 6-goal thriller, a couple of 5-goal thrillers. We haven't had a goalless draw yet. We're into the 7th game of the tournament. And Toinho playing that in, but this time ball hooked away by Gorham up towards McCoist. And Rangers, having made that glorious start through Ali McCoist, have relaxed, sat back. There's an old phrase in football: always vulnerable when you just scored a goal. That's what happened to Rangers in a nutshell, really. They took the lead, they relaxed, and Pele obviously took advantage, and it was John Gregg's mistake really on the free kick which led to Rangers actually being pegged back in the first place. Here's Terry Butcher. David Cooper back to John Gregg. Cooper again, Gregg. Can't get it back to Cooper. John Gregg to take the throw. The Rangers captain, whose late challenge on Pele led to the free kick, which Pele took and scored, and then he's wiggled into the area and scored again, and we have a 2-1 lead for Santos. And we've only had 20 minutes, and my word, we could have more goals here. Tadinho! Good save, Andy Gorham! Edu! Can't finish it off, and Rangers escape again.
Lovely piece of skill from Pele, though,
Well,
to set that opportunity up.
Indeed, now another, the Danish Pele Laudrup has, I think it's 1 or 3 kick here, which gives Rangers a chance. The Santos fans not liking the decision from the referee, but he was adamant, and Laudrup was certainly fouled there. He was certainly being deliberately stopped there by the number 8. So a 3 kick to Rangers, and a real opportunity to test this Brazilian defence. Baxter with it, chipped it in there towards McCoist. They did well, the Santos defence. John Gregg though for Rangers. David Cooper can't get it out of his feet. But Gregg has found Cooper, and he's got a bit of space to work into. Baxter into Gascoigne. Van Bronckhorst! Unlucky. Good effort, but just wide of the target.
Well, I was kind of silently screaming, if that makes any sense, cross it in the box, but they made a good decision to get it out to Van Bronckhorst on the edge and just missed the target. It's a good sighter though. Give him another chance and he might well bury that.
Well, it was a good effort. Right foot rasp, but just wide of the target. Carlos Alberto. Eduardo. Looking for Carlos Alberto once again. John Gregg. Gascoigne. Baxter to Jardine. Now Laudrup. Baxter. Jardine gets there first, but stabs the ball a bit too strong. Not even the brilliant Brian Laudrup can reach that. For the Santos. 25 minutes amazingly have gone, and we've seen 3 goals and a host of a few missed chances and a few good saves from Andy Gorham. Edu. Lima. Here's that man again, Pele. Oh, he might have an assist, Tadinho! And he goes down, the referee not interested. I don't think it was a penalty. We'll have to see a replay if we do get one from our friends from Brazilian television. But rather, Rangers on the attack here with David Cooper. Well, was it a penalty, or did Tadinho make too much of it, Chris?
I don't think there was anything in it, to be honest. I thought there was more of a foul on the Rangers defender than anything else. Yeah,
I would concur with that. Tadinho did certainly make a meal of it. He did go down rather theatrically. From Bronckhorst to Baxter. McCoist to Cooper. Carlos Alberto. Lima. Doval. Eduardo. Edu. Tadinho. Edu. Tadinho trying to get in the burst, but again the ball out of play, and a goal kick this time to Rangers. They go unbeaten twice, one from a free kick, one from a beautiful piece of skill by the great Pele. Baxter, Gascoigne, John Gregg, now Cooper. Gregg popping up once more in towards Gascoigne. Now Van Bronckhorst. Right up in a bit of space. And the ball ricocheted towards him, and he makes a chance out of nothing and almost equalises.
Bit of wrestling to get to the ball. Good old school. bit of this and a bit of that. It's carved the chance out of nothing indeed. It's shame he didn't hit the target.
Also, before all that, really, there was McCoist in a lot of space through his left-hand side, and if he'd got his head up lad up and had his time again. I think he might have tried to play Ali McCoist back in again, but it wasn't to be. Here's Pele. Doval. Pele, good run. Doval. Paulinho. Doval. Well held by Andy Gorham. 10 minutes to go to half time, and Gorham going to get Rangers going again. Here's Pele. McCoist intercepted, now backstep. Gascoigne. And Bronckhorst to Greg. Cooper. Gascoigne, Cooper. Greg. And Bronckhorst, good footballist from Rangers. Nice little build-up. Cooper around the corner. Nice one-touch stuff. Sort of move that Brazil would be proud of, but the final product wasn't quite accurate. But it was a corner, so it must have got a deflection. But Baxter with it. Goalkeeper coming off, didn't get a good enough fist on it, and it's been bundled in for 2-2. Big Terry Butcher, the Englishman, has drawn Rangers level, and you've got to say, for the last sort of 5 or 6 minutes, it has been coming. Santos 2, Rangers 2, and what a climax in the first half we're going to have now. Bad mistake, Chris, from the goalkeeper.
Yeah, it was. The goalkeeper came out, didn't get there properly. He did get a touch on it, but it wasn't convincing enough. And well, Terry Butcher, free header all day long, really.
Well, he's a big burly lad, Terry Butcher, but the goalkeeper here, not really great. Well, there was 2 players converging on him, to be fair, but he should have done a lot better. And Terry Butcher gets a free header and nods it into the empty net. 7 minutes to half time, and Santos, who were 1 down, turn it around. Now pinned back by a Rangers side who have really gone for it in the last sort of 5 minutes or so, and fair play to them. And there's still time yet for another goal before the break. Dandy Jardine going forward. Throw to Santos. So 2-2. Let's hope that's not the end of things here. Lima. Paulinho. Guildo. Paulinho. Lima again. 4 minutes after a break. Oh, I thought for a moment Rio was going to get in there and make it 3-2. Brother Santos. What a good first half we've had here. Probably the best first half, arguably, of the whole competition.
Yeah, there's a lot of good candidates for good first halves, but this one's certainly been the most even, I think.
It has, and Jardine now to McCoist. There's 2 in the middle if he can pick him up. McCoist surely went down there. That did look a penalty to me. McCoist is furious, and I think he might have a case there. It looked a penalty from where I was sitting. We'll bring Chris's viewpoint now. Chris, was it a penalty? It did look a penalty from my eyes. Did it look a penalty from yours?
It did look a lot like a penalty. I've seen them given more often than not. But ref has a bit different view. He's got a linesman to help him too, and they obviously thought differently. So we'll have to go with the ref for now. But a bit of controversy towards the end of the first half. Just what we need to add to this boiling pot of a game, of a match.
Well, I have to say Rangers should and could have had a penalty. And I'm not sitting on the fence with that one. That's a poor decision from the referee. Clearly influenced by the Brazilian supporters there. Here's Cooper. And there is the whistle to end a marvellous first half of football, where it swung one way and the other. Rangers took the lead for Alan McCoist. Then a free kick from Pele made it 1-1, and then another lovely moment for Pele. Another goal of Pure Genius made it 2-1. And then a goalkeeper error from the Santos goalkeeper presented Terry Butcher with a free header to make it 2-2. McCoist was bundled down, didn't get a penalty. So a bit of controversy there to end the first half with a poor referee decision. It's 2-2 at half time, and here are the thoughts of Chris on this first half.
Well, it's been an incredibly even game. It's pretty much had everything. I don't really know what to say. I mean, Rangers have certainly been, I would be inclined to say, the more clinical of the two sides, because they haven't had many chances and they've managed to score 2 goals. Whereas Santos obviously have created more opportunities. When you've got a player like Pele on your team, it really helps, as he's managed to drag 2 goals out of Santos. I really don't know which way this is going to go. Both teams have been incredibly well matched. As you can see, the possessions well matched, pass completions well matched. In terms of the fouls and everything, just that little bit of controversy at the end of the first half. Was it or wasn't? Was it a penalty? I would be inclined to say yes, but you know, the ref hasn't given it, so I'm sure Walter Smith will just say, you know, forget about it, move on. You know, they've been playing really well, Rangers. They certainly finished the second half strong, and if they can come out in the second half as well as they finished the first, then I think they're in with a shout of getting 3 points out of this game.
Yes, indeed, and we are back out here in Brazil for the second half. The teams are anyway. Well, I hope for myself and Chris in the commentary box we will treat it to a royal first half, which went everything in it, goals, controversy a lot. And now will we see the same thing so far? Both sides deadlocked at 2 goals each. We haven't had a draw yet, draw match in the tournament. And will we get one this afternoon, or will we get an outright winner as we have had in all the other games that we've seen, the other 6 previous games that preceded this one? Lima. Santos in all white, of course. They're going towards the left hand side. Rangers in blue going towards the right. A throw to the Brazilian side. Led 2-1. Trail 1-0, led 2-1. And now have been back by the Scottish side to 2-2. Kawado inside the area. Good strike, but well, just about a foot wide of the target. It was a good effort. And it would have needed something very special to have found the back of the net. Very acute angle. But it was an early chance there, Chris, and a good sighter from him.
Yeah, good chance early doors. It's quite wide of the mark. I'm sure Andy Gorham would have had that covered.
Yep. Here's Baxter. Gascoigne. Hit Baxter actually, and that was not the ricochet that Rangers were looking for. Bit of unfortunate look there for the Scottish side. No foul on Edu. The Brazilian fans wanted a free kick, and I don't think they were going to get the decision, to be quite honest. And to be fair, none of the Santos players appealed for the decision either. Says a lot about the body language of the team, rather than the supporters, who will always appeal for everything in sundry. Here's Laudrup. Gascoigne, a bit of magic from him that's been lacking maybe in the match so far. 6 minutes into the second half. Terry Butcher. Not showed too much of it there. Baxter. Now John Gregg. Davy Cooper. Gascoigne to Cooper. Gascoigne again. Gascoigne just can't get past the defender again. I think if Gascoigne had gone down there, I think the referee may have been a little bit tempted to go for a penalty, but the reason why it wasn't given, or any potential penalty wasn't given, because Gascoigne tried to play the game a little bit too honestly there, perhaps. Here's Laudrup. Good intelligent run by McCoist. Can he get there first? McCoist there, being surrounded by 3 Brazilian defenders who just about got the ball cleanly. Now Carlos Alberto. 10 minutes gone in the second period. 2-2. Great game of football here. No goals as yet in the second half. Still time for that to change. Doval. Gascoigne away. Now Cooper. Looking for McCoist. But again, decent defending, but it comes to Baxter. Rangers now going to try and get in the lead for the second time in the contest. They do get a throw here. And Chris, they're looking more threatening, the Scottish side, as Pagao comes on to replace Edu. And the other substitution is a Rangers one. And we'll bring that in a minute. Ian Durant on for Paul Gascoigne, who was quite frankly disappointed. But Rangers looking the more likely scorers at the moment, as Van Bronckhorst takes the ball. Now Durant gets his first touch. Durant again! And Ian Durant with his second touch has made it 3-2! Would you believe it? What a substitution from Rangers! And Ian Durant has just scored one of the goals of the tournament, and Rangers lead for the second time. What a substitution!
I don't think he'd been on the pitch for more than 30 seconds. It literally comes on for Gascoigne, who hasn't done anything, and he's already done more in the match than Gascoigne has in, what, 50 or so minutes. What a strike this is. Fantastic. Absolutely brilliant. Wonderful build-up play from Rangers, you've got to say as well. But they've certainly been the team in the ascendancy since half-time.
And with that, another candidate for our goal of the tournament competition. That was Ian Durant's second touch of the ball since coming on. But what a second touch of the ball it was. That is going to challenge Lothar Matthäus for goal of the competition. And I'll tell you what, whoever votes for that will have a real job on. Mark Heckley replaces Aaron McCoist. Rangers making their second substitution. 3-2 to the Scottish side. I'll tell you what, Burnley and Milan, beware, because Rangers are not in it to make up any numbers. Here's Baxter. Durant, could he get another one? Oh, you wouldn't have put it past him, but he was tackled this time. Here's Pele to Talinho. Can Pele complete a hat-trick and get Santos out of a massive hole they've got themselves dug into now? Pele will get possession here, surely. He will, keeps that in. Doval, Pagiao. Lima with a shot, good drive, good save Andy Gorham, and away by John Gregg. Well, what a game. 3-2 Rangers lead, but it's a slender lead. Cross coming in, Corrado now, Lima's shot, and Gorham again holding on. Two magnificent saves, Chris, in the space of a minute from Andy Gorham.
He's done well, Gorham. He's had a lot thrown at him this match, and he's done really well.
No foul. Again, the Brazilian fans wanting the referee to start blowing for everything and sundry. And Laudrup is onside. But there was a lot of Brazilian defenders coming back there. Carver gets it away. Pagiao, now Toginho. Baxter there for Rangers. 3-2 ahead. Twice they've been in front now. Can they hold on and see this game out? Jardine, Haitley, Van Bronckhorst to Baxter. Van Bronckhorst, good run made, but again good cover. Pele, Talinho, Pele to his right. If he can get his head up and get the ball into the area, he can't. He allowed a few Rangers defenders to get back there and stop that from going in. Durant playing a lovely ball forward, and the header forward does not find Mark Haitley. Now Lima. This is almost being played like an FA Cup tie, this. To-ing and throwing all the way. Now Gorham. John Gregg. Now Ian Durant, whose goal separates these two sides here. And that was the goal, arguably, of the game in terms of how well it was hit. Although Pele's will be probably the second goal will be a more technically better goal. But in terms of an explosive shot from outside the box, it certainly beats Pele's free kick earlier on in the piece. Rangers get a throw, although they could have and should maybe have had a free kick. Now Coutinho replaced Torrelinho, who didn't impress me at all tonight, Chris, I have to say. And David Cooper replaced by former Manchester United man Andrei Kanchelskis. But he is playing for Rangers, and he had a spell at Rangers, so he couldn't get into the United side for obvious reasons. But he's certainly in the Rangers side, and they're winning 3-2 and could have 3 more points than Manchester United do in their group at the moment if they hang on. Oh, that looked a cheap decision to me. I think that is a harsh decision against Butcher. I have to say, Chris, that is one of the worst decisions I have ever seen from a referee.
Let's have a look, see what he's seen. Well, I suppose the guy behind has wiped out Pele. It's Butcher got the ball. It's him who followed in behind, and now Pele with a chance.
Well, Pele with a free kick, deflected wide, and maybe justice for once has been done. because it did look a fair tackle, but the referee, in my opinion, although Chris makes the point that there might have been another player behind, I still think Pele made a lot more of it than it needed to be. So I'm not changing my opinion one bit. Real deal. Ramos! And maybe that is justice done in my opinion. That's a foul showing on Haley, but no referee not allowing anything at the moment. Not giving Rangers anything at the moment. He's giving Santos a few decisions, but maybe the Brazilian crowd just influencing him a little bit in his decision making. Jardine. Rangers have just got to rise above all this right now and just keep playing and not be intimidated by the crowd here. With 95% is Brazilian. Many Rangers fans who are travel from Scotland to South America. It's a long trip and it's quite a lot of money for people to get airline tickets, let alone match tickets. A game like this, Pele shot, well held by Andy Gorham. 15 minutes to go, Chris. Do Rangers have it in them to hold on here for 3-2, or do they need to score another one?
Well, they've got to weather the storm, and they're doing that at the moment. I get the feeling that they need another goal. I just get that feeling that Santos are going to get that opportunity to get that equaliser. And I think Rangers may need another.
Yes, Mangalinho has just come on for the great Carlos Alberto, who didn't really do much, to be fair, on the day. Durant, whose goal looks like deciding things. Here's Kanchelskis. Haley! And that deflects for a corner. And Rangers here could go for the kill and sew this game up and really put pressure on the other two teams that play tomorrow. That glamour match between Burnley and Milan.
He wanted a free kick.
I do have to side with the referee on this one, I have to say, because he played the advantage and I think the referee was right to do so. But Rangers aren't finished yet, Chris. Baxter's corner, floated in there, the goalkeeper, again he wasn't convincing, I've got to say. It's another corner, but the goalkeeper gets away with it. Here's another corner to really test this goalkeeper. Baxter floats it in, goalkeeper staying at home, and then the header deflects, I think, wide. It will be a third corner in succession. Let's have a look at it again.
I think Kanchelskis just missed the target completely, actually.
Yeah, it didn't seem to nick off a defender. It is a goal kick. It looked from the naked eye at first as if he was pointing for a corner, but obviously he's pointing towards the far corner of the 6-yard box rather than the actual corner quadrant. Maybe Chris was right here. Kanchelskis did miss it. No, didn't seem to be a nick on anything or any kind of a deflection. And Bonkhorst, Haley, Kanchelskis, Jardine forward. Rangers throw.
Rangers turn to have a bit more of the ball now.
Yes, Durant, which in theory will suit Walter Smith's side down on the ground because they are 3-2 up, and whilst the ball's at this end of the ground, there is no danger towards them, but there might be a bit of danger now as Guado tries to find Pele, but Laudrup is there, and Andy Gorham just has to play safe, just get the ball forward as he can, and he's done just that, 3/4 of the way up the field, and it might get even better here. Haley, his shot was a little bit tame there, and in the end Santos was able to get it out and they get a free kick, which means Rangers it's a good free kick for Rangers to concede because it will allow them to get a few more bodies back and make it a little bit more difficult for Santos to try and prod the ball goalwards. Jardine did well, couldn't prevent the throw though. Eight to go. 3-2, Rangers lead. Guado played it in, Coutinho, Pele on the hat-trick. He can't dig it out from under his feet. Laudrup. better get your thinking cap on, Chris, because we'll be coming to you in a very short while for man of the match. Here's Pele. Oval's there, and away by Gorham. 6 minutes to go. Rangers lead by 3-2. Aitley wanted a free kick. I don't think it was a free kick. Play on, said the referee, and I think he's right to let the game flow. We've got 5 to play. Still up for grabs this game. Rangers holding on, and they've held on for so long. It would be a shame for them now to concede right at the end. They've worked hard and have deserved to be 3-2 ahead. Ball up towards Haitley. And Kawado now. Pele, Duval, Andy Goran's ball. And we'll bring in Chris now, man in the match.
I'm going to go with Gorham. I think he's done really well. He's been the standout performer to me, along with Terry Butcher. So I don't want to be the curse of the commentator here. Hold on.
He's made another. No, he's made a magnificent tackle there, and has done magnificently well. And he's given the Brazilian defender the slip, as you were saying, Chris.
I think Gorham has made some very important saves today, and there's not much he could have done about the goals. And again, he makes another smart
there
save.
Again.
He's just been very decisive with when he comes and claims the ball. He's made very good saves. He's just kept it simple, and he's kept Santos at bay.
Indeed, Andy Goran man in the match, and no saves could prove critical, because now, if Rangers hang on and do win, it was just wide in the end, not by much, but it was wide, and Rangers will be relieved by that. But if Rangers do hold on, it really does open up the group, because Rangers, who were respected by a lot of people to be there to make up the numbers, considering that Burnley are there, Santos are there, and AC Milan. That because it's Scottish, they don't have a god in hell's chance, but they've just proved everybody wrong. And Rangers are a dangerous team. They've got so many legends, it's unbelievable. We're really deep into stoppage time, and Durant should have had a free kick there, but didn't. But Santos have almost run out of time. They have run out of time. No, they haven't. It's a free kick. I was getting ahead of myself then. Rangers have just got one more set play to defend, and if they do that, they win the game. Bagal's free kick towards Pele this time, and it drops to Doval, and the defender made a bit of a meal of it. Butcher, Doval, that's the save from Gorham. That's one Rangers to game, and it's all over. And Andy Gorham, the hero, the man of the match, has just proved his worth. Why Chris selected him as man of the match. He made some super saves and has won Rangers a very precious 3 points. The winning goal in the second half from Durant, after McCoist had put Rangers in front. 2 goals from Pele had put them 2-1 ahead, the Brazilians. Then a mistake by the keeper, letting Terry Butcher in Durant's winning goal, and saves from the man of the match, Gorham. And Rangers have just opened up a real can of worms in this particular group, and the pressure's now on the other 2 teams, Milan and Burnley, tomorrow night. Chris, what a match.
Yeah, it was terrific. You had battle of the goal-scoring legends in Ali McCoist and Pele. Putting them in the same sentence is rather entertaining to say, but it's been a much better game than I think anyone could have possibly anticipated. As you say, Rangers probably expected to just make up the numbers, but they've certainly come here to play. Got to say, Pele at times was unplayable in this game, but he faded in the second half. Whether that was down to Terry Butcher keeping him in his pocket would certainly be one way of putting it, but
well, this was the moment I think that could have changed the whole complexion. Tolinho's shot and Andy Gorham making the save there.
Yeah, and
because if that goes in, it's 3-1,
yeah, exactly.
Isn't it?
And it's been a good game. All the games have been good, but this one in particular. This moment here, I think Terry Butcher was very much up there for man of the match, but obviously Gorham, I think, was slightly more busier of the 2. And it's been fantastic. It's been difficult conditions for Rangers, obviously, being surrounded by Brazilian fans. It's generally they scream and shout for absolutely everything. So it's quite intimidating, and I feel sorry for the referee. I think he got a couple of decisions wrong, but the amount of pressure he was getting under the crowd was certainly not something to be viewed in a good light. But then obviously Durant comes on, changes the game in an instant. So credit to Walter Smith.
Yes, that was his second touch. Second touch of the game that for Ian Durant, and what a goal it was. And then Andy Gorham took over and he made some world-class saves here, didn't he, Chris? To deny, first of all, Lima.
Yeah.
The
wall did its job.
Pele was denied.
You would have thought that Pele would at least hit the target with that one, but the wall's got in the way.
And then we thought Aitley was going to make it 4-2, but a good block there. Rangers, I think you could say, I know Gorham got man in the match, and quite rightly so. There was 11 heroes out there for Rangers tonight, and they didn't let anybody down, did they?
No, they didn't. They certainly played a lot better than anyone could have predicted, and then and they are well deserving of their 3 points. And at this particular moment, this last kick, you had Coutinho there, and then you had Lima a minute later.
This was the one.
It saves well and gets
that
out of the danger zone.
Well, that was the save that won Rangers the match, and that was the stats. But Chris, summing up finally, what do you think now? What's going to happen in this group? I mean, we've got Burnley and Milan facing off tomorrow. You can see that with us on the McCoist channel. But really now, does it put the pressure on Milan and Burnley to get a result tomorrow night in the other game?
Well, you would think that whoever wins that game, if obviously either side can get a win out of it, if it's a draw, it blows the group wide open again. It gives Santos a chance to get through, but it does put a lot of pressure on both the teams playing tomorrow. Rangers have put themselves in a very, very comfortable position, but they have to play Burnley and AC Milan, and you'd probably, on this performance, they'd fancy their chances against Burnley and well, AC Milan. Obviously, they're the real giants of this group. You would expect them to probably win this group. So Rangers have managed to get a good result, given themselves 3 points. You win your first group game, you give yourself a chance. If you can get two wins out of the group, that generally gets you through. So for Rangers to get the win today, and it was important because I think Santos, very even team with them, as shown by this match. So they'll probably be fairly confident going into their next game, whoever it may be, AC Milan or Burnley, and then we could see Rangers into the next round of the tournament, which would be fantastic, I think. But early doors, Rangers have put themselves in a very good position, and very much like so far there's been no draws in this tournament, which has been good, I suppose. But legends don't know how to draw. There's no such thing as sharing. It's either win or bust. So far this tournament, and for Rangers, this performance was very, very good indeed. And keeping Pele quiet in the second half was definitely one of the big pluses.
Yes, thank you, Chris, for your analysis this afternoon. And it was a feather in the cap. I mean, to keep Pele quiet for one half is unbelievable achievement. Max got the actual man in the match, but we're going to give it Gorham anyway. But a marvellous performance for Rangers. Was a real dogged performance. 11 Rangers Lions out there tonight. Performed, put bodies on the line. Andy Gorham, superb save. McCoist, predatory as usual. Pele was brilliant for Santos. But in the end, it was that blockbusting goal from Ian Durant and that save at the end from Andy Gorham that has really given Rangers lift-off in this Kawani Legends Trophy. Thank you very much for watching another thrill-a-minute game from here, from Brazil. It's goodbye for now. Goodbye.